Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nico Chief Bricks. I'm going to be building a clone base in 3 days. So before we get started, how about you lightsaber slash that like button? And without further ado, let's get right into the building. So first things first, I wanted to get the grass area done for the layout part of the build itself. So I placed all these different plates down, and then I elevated some to add that hill texture and landscape texture. So then I started actually messing with the layout of the base. So I decided to go one base plate is the base and the other base plate is the grass area. So I started building up the walls. So I started messing around with the design for the walls themselves. I was experimenting with different types of things. I kind of had some support pieces there, and then I was like, okay, what do I want to put on these walls to make it look good? So I was experimenting with it a little bit. And so this is kind of like an early gen. So for the walls, I didn't want it to just all be light bluish gray and it looks very boring. I wanted to add some more color to it, so I decided to go with a pattern of dark bluish gray. And originally I had done one fluent line all around the base of dark bluish gray, but I was like, you know what, that looks good, but it can be a little bit better. So I decided to go with a kind of one dark bluish gray, one light bluish gray pattern around the entire base. And I think that definitely pops out way better than just one fluent line. So I went ahead with that. Then I went with one thin line of just of dark red plates around the base, because one of the main colors of the Republic is red, and if it was just an all dark bluish gray and all light bluish gray base, well, that's an Imperial base, so I decided to do that. So for day 2, I was all done with the actual base structure itself, so now it was all about working on the roof. So I started with getting all the necessary plates for the size of the roof, and then just building it itself. So I took all my dark bluish gray plates, and I had to stick one light bluish gray in there because I ran out, but it was all going to get covered up eventually. And then I was adding a bunch of plates on the bottom for support so it doesn't break whenever I put pieces on it when I start putting tiles. So when going with the roof, I knew coming into this that I did not have enough light bluish gray tiles and plates to fill out the whole roof itself, so I wanted to sprinkle in other colors as well to accommodate for that lack of parts. So I decided to go with one line in the middle of the dark bluish gray grill pieces to kind of add some wiring, like some nice industrial look to the roof itself. Then I decided to go with a couple of dark red lines for that Republic look, and then I added various generators and various details that really made the roof feel like a roof. It has all the technology and all the power and stuff like that, so I think I did good with that. And then something else that I didn't want was the roof to just be full-on flat, so that's why I added a bunch of generators and just random pieces that kind of complete the look and that has the roof a little more elevation, so it's not just a flat boring roof. So I think it did turn out very nice. I finished day 2 off with the completion of the interior. With my lack of parts when it came to the plates and tiles, I couldn't make the interior as detailed and as nice as I wanted to, but I was like, you know what, I still want to include it. And then day 3 was all about building the outside and putting all the grass and the 2 trees that I was planning on building. So I started off with one tree there on the right side and then the left tree. And I did it usually the way that I build trees, where I just stick up a bunch of bricks and then add the kind of arching brown pieces at the top. And then I started building a little bit terrain to add some more depth to the landscape itself, where it's not just flat and, boring. And then I wanted to add 2 sides of the plant pieces, so one on the right, one on the left. I decided to make the grass area longer by adding one more layer of 8x16 plates, and I think that was definitely a good idea. That added more space for the grass, but not enough space to where it took away from the outside of the base where I was gonna tile it off for the clones to stand. And then I started building the leaves that go on the tree itself, and I did that for both trees. So I finished putting more grass, and then I wanted to go ahead and add some rock formations to add just some more detail to the landscape itself. And then I started putting the clones there at the front gate and finished off by putting more plants to add some more detail. And with finishing all the plants, that concluded the 3 days of building this clone base. So without further ado, let me take you through the finished clone base. So for the interior, I filled the base with 501st Clone Troopers. So starting over here, we have 2 weapon racks that hold the long blaster rifles. There are 8 in total, each one holding 4. And then over here, we have a little crate with a pair of binoculars there, just to add some more detail next to the weapon crates themselves. And then I do have a clone trooper and a heavy clone trooper here, which has a custom cloth cape from the Cape Cantina and a custom backpack there that I built, and they are going to the weapon rack. Then over here we have a squad of clone troopers heading out to the wilderness, and then over here we have another squad of clones being led by Captain Rex and Fives. So it's very nice having these 2 figures in hand and to have them both standing here. It's very cool. And then over here we have the command room with some consoles on each side and some clone troopers manning them. So overall, a pretty good interior. Unfortunately, with the lack of parts, I couldn't make it as detailed as I wanted to, but I didn't want to just flat out not include it either. So I decided to, and it does look pretty good with all the clones filled in, so overall very nice. So starting off here at the front of the base, on the right side we have 2 canisters that could be filled with fuel or any of that. Then we just have a little bin that can fit some supplies in there. We do have 2 501st troopers talking, just having a normal conversation on just another day in the Republic. Then over here we have another 2 501st troopers coming out of the door, which I made it dark bluish gray. It looks very nice. At first I had it light bluish gray, but then I was like, wait, no. So I changed it to dark bluish gray, which was the best idea to do. Then over here we just have another clone trooper just at his post, and then we do have some more. What I wanted them to be crates, but they could also be gas canisters as well, but I'm referring to them as crates, just some more supplies. And then I did just add some base decor here at the front, and I made it symmetrical so it looks the same on both sides. Then over here onto the landscape itself, here is one of the rock formations that I built, with this one being the other. This one is bigger than the other one. I definitely made this one with some bigger bricks. Then we do have a squad of clone troopers going on a patrol, because I wanted some clones to be over here in this grass area to make it not look empty. And then I put a couple of just 1x1 tiles and all these different pieces here to be like rocks and be like more terrain. And then I added a bunch of these slopes, which is kind of like a lime green, I would say. But I definitely do think it is a nice addition to adding some color and some more detail to the landscape itself. And then over here on the left side, we do have a bunch of these little plant pieces. Same on the right side, but I didn't want to do it scattered throughout the entire build. I wanted it to be very concentrated on one area on each side, but nothing that's spread out too far. But I did spread out a bunch of these, which are these plant pieces, but with the leaf pieces on each stem. So very nice there. And then onto the 2 trees, which are pretty tall, and here are the leaves. So basically I did 1 layer of the big leaves with the small leaf pieces, and then I put more on here to kind of add a rounded shape, and I did that for both trees, and I think it did turn out really well. And then the roof, which is probably my favorite part of the build, is very detailed. So starting off here at the front, I added 2 of these kind of generator little builds here, and they can spin like that if I want to spin them, but they do look nice, and I did it equally on both sides, so it looks very nice. And then over here we just have some more details and little scribbles that I just added, and then we do have the line of the grills to really add that industrial look to it. Then I just added some of these fortifications on each side to make the roof feel elevated. And then back here we have both what I would call generators, and I do like the way they came out. They look very nice, and so I have them on both sides, and then I do have 2 vents as well corresponding to each generator. And then over here we kind of have like a filtration look. It's not connected at all, but I added a whole area of grill pieces and then this over, so it's kind of like a vent, a very big vent. So here is the full clone base in all its glory, and I gotta say I'm very happy on how it came out. It looks so cool, and it feels nice to use a lot of these clone troopers in this build. So if you enjoyed this video and you love the way the base looks, go ahead and smash that like button and hit the subscribe button while you're at it to show your support. Turn on post notifications so you do not miss another video. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, peace.